Hello, welcome along to this week's Timeform Sporting Life weekend preview. And there was one. It's just me this week sharing a few thoughts ahead of the big races at Newcastle and Newbury. I'm going to kick off in the northeast. Some really good stuff up at Newcastle, and the Fighting Fifth, the BetMGM Fighting Fifth Hurdle, obviously features two of the most exciting horses in this 2 mile division, really taken off in recent weeks. And obviously we have another fascinating clash with Lossiemouth and Tiapu at the weekend as well to come. But Sergino and Mystical Power clash here in the Fighting Fifth. And Sergino obviously is here due to not going chasing. He's decided, obviously, Connections looking to take advantage of no Constitution Hill in this race. And he's staying over hurdles, obviously unbeaten as a juvenile last season. Was very, very impressive on a couple of occasions. Obviously kicked Burdett Road totally out of the way at Cheltenham. So he looked in good order the other day, galloping alongside Constitution Hill. Now, what you read into that, what you will. This is him winning the juvenile race, the big race at Aintree in the spring, and he did so in very impressive fashion. Now, I suppose the obvious question marks over this horse are whether he's going to be, perfectly suited to hurdling, having been clearly schooling over the bigger obstacles at Nicky Henderson's yard in recent weeks. But Nico de Boinville was chatting to Matt Chapman on Sky Sports the other day, and obviously wasn't concerned about that in one iota, to be honest. So, yeah, Sergino is a very, very exciting horse. He tops the Timeform ratings for this race, but only just ahead of the, Willie Mullins trained Mystical Power. Now, the thing with Mystical Power, I suppose, to bear in mind is that a lot of Willie Mullins horses have needed a run, and this horse didn't reappear last season until mid-January. So that would maybe put me off a little bit. It's hard to imagine that Willie Mullins would have the screws completely tight with Mystical Power. Now, here he is in the green and gold with the white cap on the wide outside there. Comes to beat Firefox's old foe from earlier in the season. This was him winning at Punchestown, getting the job done again at the highest level. The Skybet Supreme horse, the one that beat him there, is Slade Steele back in third. And he's a hugely talented and very exciting 2 mile hurdler, and clearly a welcome addition to a race of this nature. So it should really help tee up the champion hurdle division as we go through the season. So a really exciting clash. I think, like I say, Mystical Power possibly not being fully ready for this, and Sergino having that switch from the complete switching campaign from novice chasing to hurdling is the question mark against him. And maybe if there's a bet, there's a sneaky one here in Tell Her the Name, who might be able to get things completely his own way out in front. As you can see there from the pace indication, that Tell Her the Name is the one that might get the run of the race. I thought his odds were a bit of an insult, really. Initially, he was putting around a 40-1 shot. Now he might end up being more like 20-25s. But if there's an each-way horse and all 8 go to post for the BetMGM Fighting Fifth Hurdle, then maybe formerly Ben Pauling's horse, now with John Joe and AJ O'Neill, of course, he could be the one to spring a little bit of a surprise if you're looking for a bit of value in the Fighting Fifth Hurdle. Now, obviously, Coral Gold Cup Day. This is kind of the significant, most important betting race of the day. Not a massive field for this race, but a really competitive edition as ever. And Victorino, Venetia Williams' horse, is in flying form at the moment. He tops the Timeform ratings, narrowly there with 166 ahead of the Dan Skelton trained mare Gallia de Lito on 165. Midnight River, the other Skelton runner there as well. And we have the French Raider adding a certain je ne sais quoi in general on chef with 163. Broadway Boy has been talked up as well in recent weeks by the Twiston Davies team, as you can imagine. Now, we're going to look at a horse called Colonel Harry, who was the long-term anti-post favourite for the Coral Gold Cup, and he made his reappearance here on the wide outside in the dark silks. It was a promising comeback run. He was narrowly beaten in the end, but he jumped to left a little bit there at the final fence, but he put up a brave effort in defeat on his comeback run. I think Connections were perfectly pleased with this. Now, the question with him, I suppose, is that he's untried over the distance, and that was obviously the case with the stablemate, sadly ill-fated, That's All Right Gino, who won the Coral Gold Cup last season. So a similar sort of preparation for him. The vibes are fairly strong. I think there's a fair bit of scope in his handicap mark. And the other horse that we're going to look at as well is Gallia de Lito. She is a really likeable, capable mare, a very strong stayer. And she also made a comeback actually at Carlisle. Seems to be the place to be for the seasonal reappearance up at Cumbria. There, really, it's a good track for a workout, given the stiff nature of the fences there as well, and the uphill finish probably just found her out given her lack of match fitness. But she does stay on well at the end here to be filling the runner-up spot, and you'd expect her to come on appreciably. Interesting with Gallia de Lito is that Harry Skelton, the stable jockey there, very much keen to stay loyal to her and keep the ride. He was speaking in his weekly blog, he very much confirmed that he was going to be riding her at the start of the week, but they have thrown the hat in the ring for Midnight River as well, and he was my anti-post fancy, who I think could go really well higher up the weights under James Bowen, and the first-time cheek pieces on him. Midnight River is currently around 10, 12 to 1, so I couldn't put anyone off him at current odds. And then we're obviously looking at one of the Irish horses in here, 2 or 3 to go at, but this is Senior Chief, trained by Henry de Bromhead. Now, he's gone up a fair chunk in the weights for this victory, quite impressive on the day at Cheltenham on his seasonal reappearance. Now, he gets to the front between the final 2 fences and probably starts to have a little look around. He's dossed a little bit on the run-in, you would say, and he's heard the challenger on the outside here and responded in kind, and really does get the job done quite well. He's the ride again of Dara O'Keefe, former champion conditional in Ireland, and a fantastic jockey, really. He's absolutely taken the chance to fill Rachel Blackmore's role, and he has grabbed it with both hands. So Dara O'Keefe looking for another big race win. Personally, I quite like, as well as Midnight River for the Skeltons, I thought one much further down the weights could be interesting here. Henry's Friend. He is trained by Ben Pauling. He's got an official handicap mark of 139. Now, he won the Reynoldstown last year. It wasn't a particularly hot edition of that Grade 2 race at Ascot, but he toughed it out really well. And when he's on song, this horse, he just seems to do enough. So I'm not sure the official handicapper has fully got hold of Henry's Friend yet. I think you can put a line through his comeback run over a short distance on very quick ground at Newbury when he was last of 4. But here's the pace indication here is I don't think Henry's Friend will be too far off the early speed. You obviously have the likes of Broadway Boy, who could be up there. Gallia de Lito stays very well as well. I suspect Harry Skelton will have her in a prominent pitch as well. And the time form experts are expecting the stablemate Midnight River to be prominent as well. And I'd quite like to see that. He was actually travelling pretty well when coming a cropper in this race last year. He's only had the 1 run since, which was quite a promising comeback run at Wetherby just the other week. So there are my thoughts on the Coral Gold Cup at Newbury and the Bet MGM Fighting Fifth Hurdle. I do think Tell Her the Name could be a big price in that race up at Newcastle. So look out for him running well at a big price. So good luck if you're getting involved as well in either of those races or elsewhere on the Saturday programme. Don't forget you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please do gamble responsibly if you are parting with your cash this weekend, and hopefully I'll be back next week with the full team, hopefully, and the full complement as well alongside me. But until then, good luck with your own bets.